Suzuki, windows tinted, rims are spinning with the Hello Kitty sticky. If you see me, I'm assuming that it's only in my rearview. You can call me, but I promise that there's no way I'ma hear you. You gon' need to speed up the pace. Black 58 strutting down the staircase. Splits all the way, bringing knees to your face. Splits all the way, bringing knees to your face. You gon' need to speed up the pace. Black lemonade strutting down the staircase. It ain't never safe when the peas on the taste. So you know it's gonna be when it's me in the race.
I wonder if you know, so let it be Tokyo.
That's that drip, drip, come catch this drip, drip, drip. Wonder if you know, I ain't been to Tokyo, but when I touch down, they hit the ground. If I say drop it low, that's that drip, drip, come catch this drip, drip, drip.
All pink like Suki in my brand new Suzuki. Windows tinted, rims are spinning with the Hello Kitty sticky. If you see me, I'm assuming that it's only in my rearview. You can call me, but I promise that there's no way I'ma hear you. Pink like Suki in my brand new Suzuki. Windows tinted, rims are spinning with the Hello Kitty sticky. If you see me, I'm assuming that it's only in my rearview. You can call me, but I promise that there's no way I'ma hear you.
You gon' need to speed up the pace. Black 58 straight down the staircase. Splits all the way, bringing these to your face. Splits all the way, bringing these to your face. You gon' need to give the bar race if you want an R race. You can follow our pace. These beats without me, Supreme with no face. Push pink P's and T's on both of our plates. That's that drip, drip, come catch this drip, drip, drip. Wonder if you know, I ain't been to Tokyo, but when I touch down, they hit the ground. If I say drop it low, that's that drip, drip, come catch this drip, drip, drip.
All pink,
Rose lit night,
like Suzuki.
come in my ride.
Hello Kitty, if you think
My beam so high,
Suzuki.
you're in my sight.
Hello Kitty, pink, like Suzuki. Hello Kitty, if you think like Suzuki. Pink, like Suki.
All right. We're here now. I just didn't really feel a need to do like any big long intro when we were all sat in the lobby, so I just thought we listened to some nice Japanese techno that was going in the background. I need to make sure that this cap card volume isn't too loud as well. I also need to turn my microphone volume up, so if it's all a little bit scuffed at the minute, then apologies. Hello as well, Lucky. I believe we'll have Sergio at some point. I don't know if he's running later, if he didn't even see the party was open, but we'll toss him an invite because he's our favourite race nerd, absolutely. More people will be coming in as well, obviously. It's just the fact that some of you goths play 6 games of FIFA a night, even when it's June turning into July. So I imagine we'll gain a couple more drivers as we get towards the end of Quali. But a new season, a new game, effectively, after that update got released. Would have been great to have Sergio here from the off to kind of discuss what the new changes of this update bring. But what it does bring, and what I know it brings, is larger lobbies. It brings, I think, the new cars as well. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, obviously, because we don't have, you know, realistic performance on it. We have equal performance on in the league, don't we? So, yeah, it's one of those. I'm excited, though. So Netherlands is always a pretty interesting one in terms of what we see. We've seen Netherlands in the past turn into an absolute bloodbath. We've seen Netherlands in the past be the home of some of the most exciting and title-deciding-esque races of the entire season. So it really could well be a great way to start the season. I think Netherlands, from what I've seen historically, would have been great for an end-of-season race. But, I mean, to each their own. You know, we had that conversation last season, didn't we, about should certain tracks be on the calendar, should certain tracks be at the end of the calendar, the start of the calendar, so forth and so forth. But listen, we are where we are, and it's Netherlands today. There he is. There's everyone's favourite man, back for another season. We've retained him. Lovely. Let's just make sure he's actually there. Is the volume insanely low for anyone else? No, that would just be you and your speakers, because I'm peeking into orange/yellow. I'm actually louder than usual, so yep, that'll be your dodgy ears, sadly. You there, Sergio? He's still getting himself prepared. It's all right, though. For now, though, quali up and underway. And, yeah, just making sure everything is good our side as well. 2 seconds. I need 2 hands to type a message. All right, sorry. I need. Sometimes you can type with one hand, other times it's just near on impossible. DM's coming forward as well. Well, yes. Obviously, I don't know. It's just. Oh my god! Honestly, these FIFA people. Two seconds. Two seconds. Alright, cool. We're there. Swifty can't hear me at all. Oh, you know why? It's because my headset was muted. That's why. I completely forgot I should probably unmute the headphones and probably turn the mic up when talking in the party. I had the microphone muted, Sergio, and I had the mic flicker thingamabob up. So
okay.
I was talking to basically nothing. Listen, I just said as you were coming in, the new game, Netherlands, it's a pretty exciting season opener. I said, you know, last season Netherlands was kind of a title-deciding-esque track. But on top of that, you've also got the update in regards to the new, you know, the features, I guess we can call it, on F1 25, on F1 now. I mean, what are we going to notice that's different today that we wouldn't have noticed, say, a month ago at the end of Season 4, Sergio? What have you noticed with this new update, with this new feature list, or whatever you want to call it?
I'll be honest, I'm completely fresh to it. What I can tell so far just from watching the actual F1 is battles will be a lot closer. Apart from that, I haven't actually been able to jump on it myself yet. But yeah, I think the main difference is battles will be a lot closer, and obviously the DRS system being stripped, and we're now on a new boost system, so that will add in some interesting elements to the racing as well, which again will just bring it closer.
I think as well, when it comes to Holland as well, we've had this conversation before. I think, if I remember correctly, you were one that I think that you liked Holland. I think you wanted to, I think it was you or someone else I was talking to after one of the races last season said you would have preferred Holland to be the race ender. How do you feel about Holland being a race opener here for season 5?
Yeah, it's not a track that you normally see opening or even, to be fair, closing the very end of the season. It's one of those ones that's normally somewhere in the middle, but I don't mind it. It's definitely a track with variation, and there's multiple corners that are different. You have quite a few. It's going to sound weird to explain, but you have some tracks where all the corners are basically the same. They're the same angle, whereas here at Zandvoort you've got different altitudes. You've got banked corners, you've got flat corners, sharp, shallow. You've got it all really. So it's a good mix, and it's a good way for the drivers to get an early test.
That's fair. I think the other thing as well, we talk about the new features on F1, we talk about the new cars, the lobby size increasing, all of this great stuff. Is there maybe any little bit of panic in you today that we're talking about something new that relates to EA, and maybe there will be some teething issues? I don't know what there could be. I'm not trying to hocus pocus something up and create issues, through wish or wonder, but I mean, I've seen it before when FIFA released an update. It can break the lobby where, you go back to a couple of years ago when F1 just came out and they had this horrific glitch where people were desyncing and were kind of like zigzagging across the track and whatnot. Have you heard or seen or I don't know, maybe expect anything to happen tonight? Or do you think this has been a relatively decent kind of release? I know you said you've kind of fresh to it and you've not really kind of taken part or raced in it, but have you heard any issues about F1 since this update came out, or nothing much?
No, I've not really heard much, well, good or bad, really. So if anything, that can only mean one thing, and it must be a decent update. If not many people are talking about it in either sense, then it's nothing that's been overhyped, it's nothing that's broken, and it's nothing that's blowing people out of the park either. But it's a good, stable update by the sounds of it, from what I'm hearing.
That's good. I mean, the thing is, you know what they say, if you hear nothing, good or bad, it's usually in a sweet spot, isn't it? So one of those. I will say as well, tonight, race 1 of the new season, Netherlands, great. But you look at this weather, it's looking a bit overcast, Sergio. Do you expect any rain today? I don't know what we're going to get in terms of the weather report from the drivers, but how would rain impact not only Netherlands as a track, but impact some of these guys that haven't maybe touched the controller, the wheel, over the past kind of 3 to 4 weeks, now coming back for another new season?
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a difference, but just depends on how well they're going to deal with it, really.
I think as well, you can see some of these new cars as well. I'm excited. I mean, listen, I'm not really like a big car nerd. I find it cool that they put the new teams in the game as well. You can see like the Audi. I think that is there, unless my logos are completely fucked with cars. But I'm not, like I said, not the biggest car person. But is there a part of you, and I always ask this to Michael back in the day, is there a part of you that would have maybe liked to see the league here for F1 on VFL use realistic car performance, and then we almost seed the drivers into what cars they get? Or do you think it would just be impossible in certain cars to even challenge? Could we put, for example, Chizzy in an Alfa Romeo and see him, do anything? Do you think there's a possibility of a season like that in the future, or do you think that it's right about correct where it is right now?
I think where it is at the minute is perfect, but I'm not going to write off the idea of that happening. If it's done correctly, then it could work really well, but the problem is having the drivers that are happy for that kind of situation to go ahead. And if all parties are happy, then obviously you'll have people there for it, and it will be wonderful. But it's just getting people on board with that idea to start with.
That's fair. And of course, we know from the FIFA side, some of the bigger players won't want to challenge themselves. I don't think there will be a big kick-up or fuss from some of the lower-end drivers. I think you offer Bailey, for example, no offense, Bailey, that opportunity, I think he'd snatch it with 2 hands. But again, I think you're right. How much would a Chizzy or a Bobby Leons really go with that? I think, same old kind of names, though, are here today, Sergio. You're looking at Chizzy, you're looking at Bobby Leons after that fantastic end to last season. Jamsey back for another go-around. Dom Parry is back as well. CB46 looked like a brilliant prospect last season. A lot of great and interesting drivers. Even Jacob back there as well after, I think, a couple of seasons away. I think we saw him back towards the winter. Lucky 13 as well in tonight for a race debut, if I'm not mistaken. So should be interested to see how some of these new minnows get involved. What would be your advice, maybe, Sergio, to maybe some of those new drivers, like your Luckies, and maybe even like the returning guys like Jacob, who haven't raced for, you know, a couple seasons now? Because this lobby, this quality of grid, has only gotten more impressive in the last couple of months.
Yeah, I'd sort of, if it was me coming in fresh, the first thing I'd be trying to do is just find my rhythm, find my pace, and work out where I am going to be roughly in the grid, and that'll be my focus point on where I should be fighting, and not get too worked up if you're not, you know, in the top 5 straight away. I mean, if you are, fantastic, but if you're not, it's not something to be worried about. Things may build and take time. You know, it might be a late push in the season, so just got to keep your head in it.
Do you feel as well like this season is a chance, as a redemption season for the likes of Chizzy? You know, obviously the big news so far, I don't know if he's maybe again fallen back into old habits, VRL Kieran, fallen asleep, or maybe he's, I don't know, somewhere, I don't know, out, and he's just not going to be back in time. But the defending champion not here tonight for race 1 of season 5. That opens up a really big possible potential for the likes of Chizzy, for Bobby Leons. Maybe Kieran never had any intention of defending his title. I don't know, I'm speculating, I know, of course, but a bit surprising to not see the reigning defending champ in the grid today.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's different, that's for sure. Normally, you know, you would see your defending champions fighting the hardest out there straight away, but yeah, what he's doing today, who knows? But hopefully we see him throughout the season. Maybe it's just a one-off today due to the heat or something. It could be multiple things. But yeah, it'll be a good season opener for starting up a new champion, shall we say, and a new championship race as well, but with potentially some new names, some names that we haven't seen in the race before. Absolutely.
As well as Reverse, they're saying 30 on Inters. He said just before you got into the chat there, Reverse, he said time for traditions, and if you know what that means a qualifying and maybe even a couple of laps in the real thing for 30 on intermediates. He is the, I think, we can call him this because it's fact, but it's also like saying, you know, the sky's blue, the grass is green. 30, the best driver on intermediates you'll see if he starts on them and finishes on them. No one else has got the stupidity or maybe the intelligence, he'll say, to go on intermediates all the way around, but he's only come off them now to maybe register and log a bit of a decent time. So there you go. Corey as well, they're saying way to get a feel of the track without wasting a set of softs. Let me tell you, Corey, that is a great point, but that is not what Surtee does it for. Surtee does it purely just to be the meme of the grid. The day that Surtee, no offense Surtee of course here, but the day that Surtee finishes in the top 3 will be a dark day, a cold day in hell. And as you can see and feel probably in your end of the world, it's not anywhere near close to being winter, so make of that what you will. I would love to see Surtee have a season where, you know, he just kind of leans forward a bit and locks in, but I just don't think we're ever going to see that. He's not the type of guy that can really kind of keep his focus for 40 minutes at a time. But there you go. I mean, more questions for you before we go in the last 3 minutes, Sergio. What we're seeing, if we are, you know, accurate in what we're seeing in terms of maybe not being any fill-ins. What do you make of some of these teams this season? Chizzy and Jamsey in particular is a really fun one. CB46 and Bobby Leons. I mean, that is going to be a serious team, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely one of the powerhouses and potentially the early favourite for the team championship this season. So some strong finishes for both of those two at the end of last season. So yeah, definitely going to be up there.
And what do you make as well of that team? One more thing I want to get your opinion on in the new car, of course, Dylan Evans and Dom Parry. Should we be expecting a lot from Dom Parry this season? I mean, there's always seemingly this kind of stick on him because he is this kind of great former kind of racer from years ago. He always seems quite modest about himself, though. He almost talked himself down when we interviewed him last season. Do you feel like he can still compete for a championship here?
Yeah, I think ultimately, I think everyone's in for a chance, especially seeing as, you know, it's clean slate at the minute. Everyone's on 0 points, so everyone's in for a shot. It's equal battlegrounds out there. You know, car performance is equal as well. It's just mainly about setup and obviously driver performance. But I think the main thing for this opening session is all these drivers need to go in with zero pressure on them and not put pressure on themselves either. Just cool heads, get to the end of the race, pick up some points if you can, and just keep pushing forward throughout the season.
Well, listen, we don't have to wait too much longer. Only 2 minutes remaining of our quali tonight. Get your opinion as well on the top times so far, Sergio. A 109.788 from Bobby Leon's, just about 0.3 of a second faster than Chizzy at the minute. Comms on that, what do you think of that time?
Yeah, fantastic time. 3 seconds clear of the rear of the pack. So got a good gap there and a fairly sizable gap as well to Chizzy. This circuit is not a big circuit at all. So to even find, a 1/10 of a second is pretty impressive stuff. But yeah, that's going to pay off, and ultimately that will show you that, those quick laps are in there for Bobby, and that's why the early retirements obviously come into play as well with that horrendously quick lap time. But that will show in the race strategy, no doubt, and the race pace as well. So lap after lap, probably going to see him around the low 110s, I imagine, comfortably. If you could pull off a one lap wonder of a 109.7, then you probably could achieve an average of 110.4 sort of thing easily throughout the race. But we'll see what happens with the tyres as well, and again, like you say, the weather conditions with the potential of rain.
Yeah, I'm very. By the way, if anyone in the stream chat here is racing, but also just listening to us in the background, let us know in between when we're waiting for the race start. Have you heard anything about these weather conditions? Are we expected to see a little bit of rain, no rain, a lot of rain? Are we going to be in for a bit of a stormy opener here in race week 1? Bailey saying no rain is forecasted, no rain is set, so it's teasing in the clouds at the minute, but who knows? Maybe Bailey's got his weather report from the wrong news station, and maybe we can cross our fingers and hope that we still get some sort of nightmare start. So terrible for you lot if it rains. Great for me. Absolutely love it. He said it showed suns in the prediction, so there you go. At least there's some hope for sunny spells. I guess we'll see momentarily. For now, the qualifying is pretty much wrapped up here. Bobby Leon's, Chizzy and Jamsey very much at the top there, but fair play to Chizzy, Gunner, Jamsey, Dylan Evans, all with 110s there. Phenomenal way to start your qualifying season, absolutely. Don't forget as well, as we kind of load into the race, please do not ready up. I repeat, do not ready up until Michael gives you the go-ahead. He'll give you a couple of minutes or so to kind of get your setups on and get prepared, and then we will be in for our first race of this new season on this new updated game. And let us know as well what you're feeling as drivers, as racers, as people that are F1 fanatics that are playing this every other day or every day. What have you noticed that is different so far between now and the game that we were on just a month ago? Have you noticed anything, or is it all pretty much cosmetic? Let us know. We're interested. We're both, me and Sergio, in the lurk there, in the lurch in regards to what we should be looking out for. So any assistance there would be great. But excited to see the teams, excited to see the start of a new season, and like Sergio alluded to, excited to see who makes the first charge towards VRL Kieran's crown. He's not here tonight, and with that, it will be a game of catch-up for VRL Kieran for when he does show up. Certainly saying you have to go slower to go quicker this game. That is the most Michael Owen type description of a thing. What does he mean by that, do you think, Sergio? You have to go slower to go quicker this game. What does that mean?
That's a common sim racing bit of advice, that is. Slower to go quicker. The slower you go, for example, the slower you go into a corner, the quicker you'll come out of it. The tyre grips up a lot better. There's more surface area on the track as well when you're going slower. So that gives you the extra grip when powering out of the corner. So yeah, it gives you the best straight line speed heading out of that. And it does enhance your lap times big time as well.
There you have it as well. Michael, they're just putting out the ping, fellas, so please do not ready up until 10:09 p.m. I repeat, do not ready up until 10:09 p.m. That's when we will be commencing our race. Still a little bit of overcast there in the background, but again, you have to maybe look further on down the stretch and you can see some white skies there. Maybe Bailey is correct. Maybe we won't be seeing any rain today, which is terrible. I would have loved to see a rainy start to a season. Always fun. But I think a lot of us probably would want to see rain in real life with the weather that's about to hit us tomorrow onwards. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking at these overcasted clouds, and I'm just imagining myself getting cooled down by a rain shower, especially since we're going to be fucking blasted by 800-degree oven heat tomorrow. So that'll be class, won't it? Thank you as well for the follow, Echo Rio Aes. I'm just going to call you Echo. That's a name that I cannot pronounce. But Mr. Echo, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Enjoy the race tonight. If you've got any friends racing, give them some tips, give them some strategy. Let them know how they should approach it. He said, Vought first round is great, to be fair. Go on, CB. Hey, you're a friend of CB46. He's great. Brilliant driver, brilliant prospect. Had a fantastic debut season last season. Hopefully, he makes this one of his own in the summer of 2026. And so he's saying you have to lift to regain your battery. Unfortunately, you can't go flat out all lap. You'll be slower doing so. I mean, was that a thing that maybe a lot of people in the F1 community wanted? More kind of battery management, Sergio?
Yeah, there's definitely a good chance of that. Brings you closer to the real cars as well, and obviously it brings a strategy into it big time. So yeah, there's a high chance that that's what people wanted, and to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case.
Yeah. Lucky 5-second pen for readying early. So Lucky has already got a 5-second penalty because he refused to listen and apparently readied up. So Lucky, you got to open your ears, mate. You've don't know why you've done that. So 5-second penalty added towards his totalizer. You'll have to hold your hands up there, I'm afraid, Lucky, and just apologise. You got to listen in future, though. But, hey, listen, a new record then. A bit of history made here tonight, Sergio, because as you can see there, we've now got 21 in the lobby, taking advantage of that new lobby setup, 24 max. And we've got 21 tonight, so this is now officially the biggest VFL F1 race that we've ever had. So, historical night here in Season 5, to say the least. Tyre strategy, I mean, what do you make of this? 2 coming out on softs, and of course it's the 2 veterans, Dom Parry and Chizzy. The rest of them, though, it's a large majority medium, and then a couple, behind them hards. How would you approach the 36 laps of Holland here today? Would you start on mediums or hards, do you think, Sergio? Oh my goodness me, well, there's been a bit of a wipeout there on this turn, and there's a couple of cars that have kind of spun out here already. One of them cut the grass there themselves. It looks like Shadow's Gunner, who was, ironically, wasn't he, Sergio, involved in a big incident and a big crash at the end of last season. He started off his Season 5 in similar negative consequence, so not ideal for him.
No, not an ideal start whatsoever. Just watching, keeping a close eye on our Red Bull driver, Chizzy, because I don't believe he's here and won't be here for the first little bit of this race, so completely under the computer control at the moment, and obviously he's ghosting constantly as well, so people were able to just drive straight through him basically, so there's no form of defence there from Chizzy's car as he finds his way down the grid. So it's going to be a comeback drive the moment he gets into the lobby, so that's going to be a fun job for him tonight.
I think, if anything though, I think that's the one person that would probably relish that the most is Chizzy. I think he'd look at that and go, okay, a bit of a challenge tonight then. Try and bring this back. I don't know if it's just placebo effect or not, Sergio, but some of the cars now, even to me, sound different. It's I don't know if that's me just kind of picking things out of thin air, but again, flicking through like Ryan Parker, and I think I was on Dom Parry a little bit earlier on. Even the cars sound slightly different. So some cosmetic, some audible, some visual stuff that's already being kind of tweaked with this new update. For now, though, Bobby Leon's kind of leading the way, and as we said, he was going to be the danger man. He looked phenomenal at points last season. Jamsey in second, and a surprise entrant, only 2 laps in, granted, Sergio, but Dirty Hippo up in third with the McLaren. So it'd be great to see the German have a good race tonight. He's such a talented driver on his day. Often, rather than not, though, does get maybe the bad end of the stick when being in the bunch, should we say. In the train, that usually occurs middle of the race. Who are you looking at though tonight for you yourself as someone that could be a bit of a dark horse?
I mean, just because their current position mainly, obviously Dirty Hippo's got to be up there, but I'm curious to see what the second Ferrari driver is going to do tonight. That is it, Henry?
Henry. Yeah, Henry. You call him Henry.
He's it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because obviously you've got a very experienced teammate in Tiller. You've also had someone that's raced under the Ferrari badge for a little while as well, so that should fill you with a little bit of confidence going into the season. And there's, with that equal performance, there's every chance that you could find the those red cars back on the top spot of the championship for the team. So everything to play for, and I feel like there's got to be a bit of confidence coming out of Henry's car there. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on tonight, and not only tonight, just throughout the season as well, because pace-wise, very similar to Tiller, so it could be quite a balanced team.
There you go. As well, Echo there saying, to be fair, I've heard the new 26 gameplay is hard to get a hang of. Maybe it is to do with that battery management. Touching on that, then the Ferrari, I mean, it's a little bit gutting to see that kind of split between Shadow's Gunner and Tiller. I wonder what happened there. Was it mutual? Was it one or the other saying that they don't want to team with one another anymore, because they had so many great moments under that Ferrari badge, but obviously Tiller going elsewhere and finding Henry as the new partner in crime, so to speak. I mean, there had to be something that had to change for the Ferrari to get back on top. It was such a disappointing season last season for Ferrari as a race team. Maybe change was nigh. Now you can see as well Shadow's Gunner representing Mercedes with Ryan Parker, going from one veteran of Sean Tiller to another veteran in Ryan Parker. So I mean, listen, one man's trash perhaps is another man's treasure. One of those. For now though, 5 laps in out of 36, we are still on Dirty Hippos, and one of the most impressive starts of recent memory to me. He's trying to chase down Dom Parry though, and that is a tough man to get by. Jamsey so far though, as you said, with Chizzy kind of not being here for the first couple of laps, he's very much back in now though. That's him right behind the wheel. He's going to have to carry the flag tonight for the Red Bulls. I mean, that's the other thing as well. You see this kind of opportunity, let's call it, Sergio, of Kieran not being here, and then the early ready up happens, and that causes a little bit of disruption for you if you're Chizzy. It's a missed opportunity, because if he could have been near Bobby Leon's, we're talking about a potential race win. Yes, it's only 5 laps in, and yes, I think Chizzy's good enough to still win this race, but if you give that position to anybody else, if you give that to, say, a Tiller, no offence, or even someone like a Shadow's Gunner, and that happens, and you're maybe effectively, maybe too hard, but screwed out of the first 3 laps, that can make such an impact to your evening, to your entire race, can't it?
Yeah, it can have a massive impact, for sure. And just anything in general when it comes to race day. Some people, obviously, I know it's different to racing actual cars and stuff in person, but some people do have their routines. Some people, do have little OCD bits that come into play. If anything doesn't go the normal way of what they expect it to, it does throw your mental game off quite a lot, and it can take quite a big effect on your race in general.
No, that's completely fair. It's completely fair. As well, we've got Echo there saying, I've spoken to CB, and he said he was having a hard time with the battery, especially when it drains so rapidly. I mean, I like that. Again, we touched back on this about the differences, and I flagged your opinion on it, but I love it. I think anything that introduces more strategy for me, Sergio, anything that introduces more, I don't want to use the word because it's very cringe, but, skill gap strategy, thinking, critical thinking, logical thinking. I love that. I think that brings the league more to life, because now it's not only about how good of a driver you are, but it's also about how good or bad your decision making is as well, in terms of that battery management.
Yeah, it does bring a lot of tactics into play as well, and potentially it will spice things up for the teams. It could be a lot more team tactics going on in the session as well, with one car harvesting more and the other car pushing a little harder, maybe. Those are the things that we will have to look out for as time goes on. But it's definitely some massive improvements in terms of the amount of skill slash planning it will need pre-race. So Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how these drivers handle it, and just going throughout the season as well with the different tracks. Again, this is a smaller track, so in theory things should be a little easier to keep in control of, but sometimes it will get difficult throughout the season.
I think has there been a virtual safety car? Because it seems like everyone is
No,
slogging down it. A full safety car, so something's happened somewhere. Did you catch where it was, Sergio?
No, I can't see anyone struggling at all. There was a car that's just jumped in the pits. I think it was Bailey. I don't think Bailey's retired, so yeah, there's a penalty for Ryan Parker though. That's the only thing I'm
that
seeing.
Existed for a while. I don't know. Maybe someone clipped the wall or so. Again, this is the thing. You know, we saw it last season, didn't we, with the first race of season 4. And you know, there was a lot of guys that came back onto the grid that, like you saw and like I saw, just hadn't touched the game for 3 to 4 weeks. There is going to be that kind of degree, that element, even from the top lads today, of that rustiness that may well come out. So, you know, that rustiness can result in opportunity. You know, you may well see someone tonight like a Dirty Hippo or a Michael. You may see the McLarens to like get a top 5 finish, which would just be excellent. For now, though, you can see everyone pretty much unanimously saying, okay, the safety car's there, let's all pit together. And right now, there's not many mediums left on the grid. 7 lap-old mediums for Surtees and Shadow's Gunner. Ryan Parker has flipped onto fresh mediums, and Surtees there has just flipped onto fresh mediums as well. So 19 of the 21 drivers tonight on hard tyres. Is that the right decision with that safety car, or do you see the method in the madness from Ryan Parker and Surtees there, Sergio?
I mean, there could be a method to it because, you know, I don't know how well the tyres hold up with this new update, with these new cars. I don't know if they do better. I mean, the softs might actually be worth using now. I'm not
dude, imagine if they imagine if they improved the softs. Imagine, that'd be brilliant.
That would be incredible. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the correct strategy would be, if I'm completely honest. But from what I've seen so far, these cars don't go too hard on their tyres. Like they are smaller cars in general. The downforce is a little better on them as well. Especially around this track, you have quite a lot of downforce, so you'd hope that helps the tyres in a way. There's not as many quick corners, so that does help stop the burning away of the rubber. So see what happens with those guys that have jumped onto hard, see how long they last for before they need to come in again. I imagine there will be obviously another pit stop before the end of the race.
Yeah.
But whether it's a 1 stop from here or whether it's 2, I'm not too sure. I imagine it'll be 1, but you never know. They might have fixed the softs but then ruined the hard, so you obviously with EA you never know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bumping and pushing there. Everyone's getting a bit eager. The man who wear black there saying they've dramatically improved the durability of the soft tyres. So there you go. Maybe there is some indication that they paid attention and tweaked the softs a little bit, because I think you're so right. I think you point out every season there are situations in real life where we see in these races that would make sense for people to go onto softs and to really kind of push it and get aggressive. But in the previous version, a month ago, 2 months ago, it just felt like you were taking a gun and shooting yourself in the foot if you put on softs. It just never really led to anything significant in terms of advantage. But like you said, if they've improved the durability, then who knows? Certainly saying my front right on the mediums was 57. So I don't know if you can. I think he's already changed the wheel over, but yeah, I mean that's not really a surprise considering we saw Surtees last season do, I think, 27 laps on a pair of tyres and not burst and not puncture. So the impossible or the plausible becoming impossible and the impossible becoming plausible, you could say in some aspects. But for now, we wait for that safety car to disappear back inside. Pollenbreath as well back on the grid. I think we saw Pollenbreath for a couple of seasons either. A really, really good experienced driver, veteran in terms of league experiences. Stu, big fan of him. Good to see you back, Stuart, if you can hear me. But listen, he's got some dangerous competitors behind him. Bobby Leon's right there behind him. A little bit surprised that maybe Stu and Blazer Guns didn't pit though, because you think of this, safety car, everyone's slowed down. It's the ideal opportunity to go and get those 9-lap-old hards off and put something else on. But again, I guess we'll see how they cope with it, how they deal with it, because this race is slowly at a point of getting back underway. Of course, as well, the safety car would have helped Chizzy massively. Touch on that point, Sergio. Like I said, he missed the first 3 or 4 laps. now he's pretty much within touching distance of everyone in front of him.
Yeah, he's in for a chance of points early this season as well, which is obviously working out perfectly for him, because that could prove crucial at the end of the season, as we saw last season, with only a matter of a point or two splitting the top two.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, every point will be crucial for Chizzy in that chase for the title again. But yeah, a good comeback drive was on before the safety car. A few overtakes were in there, and chomping down the time between himself and the car in front. Obviously, a safety car is going to help massively bunch everyone up. It's a case of can you get the better of those cars directly around you, so the one in front and the one behind, because if not, there's a slight slip up or you're just a little too late setting off, that will be all it takes to just completely ruin your race, more or less.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, you can see now we're definitely not going to get any rain, because the skies are becoming more and more bright and white, aren't they? And the overcast has almost disappeared. Listen, 10 laps in, nearly a third of the race down. You look maybe towards, I know this is kind of your focal area. You love seeing the kind of the new guys. You love seeing maybe guys that, you know, struggle to get into the top half of the grid. What are you seeing from Shadow's Gunner in these first 10 laps? Because again, you know, 16th place for him. That's a bit of a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely a few surprises out there. But yeah, Shadow may be struggling with the car, or the way it's set up after this new update.
Oh my god, and I've just seen Chizzy take a little bit of a bump there, and he somehow recovered it, but how much damage he took, I don't know, because that looked like he got some serious impact on it on his left-hand side, but for now, he remains in 14th. But as you said, a lot of surprises. So I cut you off there, Sergio. Carry on.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I can't remember what I was saying, I'll be honest. Mine's gone.
It's that heat wave. Have you had it hot yet today, or is it coming to you tomorrow as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's been hot today, and we've got red warnings for the next 3 days, I think it is.
I'm telling you, mate, lock me in a cabin in the Alps, give me winter every day of the week, summer terrible. Terrible, horrific. Give me minus 20 over 35 any day of the week. For now, though,
yep.
The train very much here between, what is that, maybe second and all the way down to, it looks about 9th or 10th. I mean, there's a big heap of cars that are all within touching distance of one another. And the great thing is that, you know, we're talking about touching distance, and it's around about the points position. Some of these guys didn't really get any points on the board until the late stage last season. We'll have to see maybe someone like a Bailey in 17th at the minute climb up and ascend. Pollenbreath there, though, taking a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, the first one of the new season. And for Stu, that will be a real nasty one to get, because it is so avoidable and it is self-inflicted. But ultimately, he pits, he's going to change over from those hard tyres, and now he's going to come back out and see what he can do to kind of alleviate that pressure on the penalty. The Ferrari, the new look Ferrari, as we said as well, Tiller and Henry in 7th and 8th position at the minute. They are the best kind of team that I'm looking at, 6th and 7th now, or 6th and 8th, excuse me, because CB has just kind of became a sandwich in the middle. What are you liking, or what are you seeing from the other teams, though? Dom Parry and Dylan Evans also 5th and 9th at the minute. That's the thing I look for, Sergio, every single season when we see these new teams kind of be posted and they reveal themselves. It's always about the team battle for me. You got the top guys, the Bobby Leons, the Dom Parrys, the Chizzies, and you kind of know, who, oh my God almighty, CB46 is having, I think, incredible speed up lag from what I'm seeing here. Because when you look at my picture, he is jittering all over the place there as CB46, so I don't know. Yeah, he is struggling. Look at my stream, Sergio. His CB46 is lagging around here. And that was, I think, a concern of his. CB46, get this, DM'd me earlier on today, and he said, quote, and this is at 5:10. Hi, mate, just a quick one. Can we add each other tonight? My Wi-Fi is being very hit and miss, so if it boots me out, I'll need an invite to get in rapid. If you're in his position, would you have pulled out the race, Sergio?
I mean, yeah, as much as it hurts, I probably would have, because it's now caused a safety car again. Is the turn 1, the lag from CB46, his car disappeared for a split second and reappeared inside a Racing Bulls car.
Yeah.
And now we've got Man's got Tism without an entire front wing. And we've got Con saying lagging all over the gaffer in the chat. So
Yeah.
they've both obviously been affected by that. And that is affecting other people's races as well. So, you know, that is something, as much as it hurts to sort of just bow out because of a problem that you can't solve yourself, it's something that unfortunately we have to do sometimes, and I think that might have been the situation to do it here tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think as well, I think CB is a good enough egg. He'll literally hold his hands up and say, I wanted to give it a risk, and tonight the risk just did not pay off. And I don't think he comes in, CB, with the intent to ruin anyone's race, but his Wi-Fi here tonight has seemingly caused all sorts of issues. Got to get an Ethernet cable, man. Got to wire in, got to play on that wired connection. Playing Wi-Fi, especially kind of in a lobby this big, it's Russian roulette. You are spinning the revolver and praying, but you feel for the people that he took out because it has impacted their race, but at least CB has done the correct thing here. He has retired, and he says that this race tonight will go on without him. A disappointing one for CB because he is such a talented driver, but as you said, Sergio, at some point you have to kind of look at the rest of the grid, the other 20 people they're racing with you, and say it's not fair to them. I don't want to ruin their evening. Let me just kind of wave the flag here and try again next week.
Yeah, again, you know, it is a painful thing to do. Very annoying, but fair play to, you know, CB for addressing that rather quickly and just packing it up for the night. Again, it is annoying, but these things do happen, and done the right thing and
Yes.
done it quickly as well. So
yeah, fair credit to you, CB, and like I said, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's back to normal for you next week, because you are such a talented driver to have on the grid. And like Sergio alluded to, if there's anyone that's going to be frustrated tonight, it will be yourself. But again, maybe look into a Wi-Fi extender, an Ethernet cable, anything, because I just think I'm surprised you've never had internet issues before if you were racing on Wi-Fi before, I'll be honest. But there you go. He said it's an issue with Virgin. Just can only apologise if pens come my way. I'll have to accept it, but I'm very sorry. Again, I think the fact that you've seen it, the fact that you've kind of retired immediately, you've not just tried to kind of soldier on and deny it, whatever. I don't think Michael's going to be too harsh to you, but yeah, I would say if there's anything you should do, just if you know who you wiped out due to the lag, maybe pop him a DM after the race tonight and just say, listen, apologies, that's, you know, not intentional, it's just one of those. But for now,
I can back him as well, because I've been having issues with Virgin the entire of today.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I can back him up there because I'm on Wi-Fi as well through Virgin, and I've been having issues non-stop today.
Hey, BT on top. There you go. We win the internet gang war, mate. Get in there. Andrew, good evening to you as well. Hope you're well, fellow. Welcome in. Yeah, and as well, there's R. Holden 05 saying he too is on Virgin, and he's been having issues too. Certy saying that's not what I want to hear about Virgin. Bailey saying, a few more safety cars, please. Just a few more places will do me. Again, yeah, points are precious for Bailey, who, of course, did not really get too many of them, to say the least, back last season of Season 4. Not too far away now. Just joined us, though. CB46 with those internet issues with Virgin Media. He was forced to retire to avoid any more carnage and death happening. I think Man Scott Tism was the unlucky casualty. CB46 was kind of zipping and zooming across the screen, and before you know it, Man Scott Tism doesn't have a front wing anymore. So it's one of those. Very good. I have a question. Is there any spaces in the league, like reserves or anything? Absolutely. Get involved, man. Do !Discord. And it's a bit confusing, but I'll walk you through it. Go !Discord, join the big VFL Discord. Then if you go to the channel near the top, which is called Tag Request, you will see a joinable link for the F1 Discord, which has got everything to do with F1 in there. You can sign up to be a reserve. You can sign up to be a full-time seat. We race every Monday, 9:30 p.m. UK. But last couple of times we've been going at 9:40 just to give people their extra time. CB saying Virgin normally so good, but yeah, I'm actually so sorry for what it caused and to put you ruin someone's race. Very sorry. You're absolutely fine, CB. Don't you worry. I want you go to bed feel a little stressed out and whatnot, mate. You'll be absolutely fine. Oh my God, Jesus! I see someone's car just lift off there. I think that was Ryan Parker's car there. Just gained a bit of airtime as I peeked my head back up. But yeah, there's a couple of interesting things happening on the grid right now, Sergio. What did you see? Was it the same Ryan Parker thing that I saw?
No, I've just seen a Henry head first in the wall.
Oh, well, that's not what you want to hear from the Ferrari.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
half the front wing missing, so the front left part of that front wing has gone. Luckily, no safety car, but I wouldn't write one off because that's a little more debris. It seems to be the safety car's a little more common now, especially if there's debris on circuit. And it seems to be, especially around this track. So maybe if there's another incident or two, we might well see a third safety car, but we might have to start getting out the chalkboard for how many safety cars we get in one race, because we might be approaching that record here tonight as well.
Did you see what caused that with Henry? Was it a lag issue, or was it just a bad handling of the car? What happened? Did you see what happened?
Yeah, no, I didn't see what happened. It just it popped into my view, and I saw him head first in the wall, just sitting still. So I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Well, for Henry, let us know. He's got on to softs for the time being as he's coming out of the pits here, but Ferrari now looking to do some work here. Tiller also struggling down there in 13th as it stands. Shadows Gunner, Dom Parry and Dirty Hippo, though, all very much within touching distance of each other as we are about to approach halfway through this Season 5 opener tonight. It's been a case of lag outs, of early ready ups, and I think maybe a little bit of lackadaisical racing. I think that's the best way to describe it. I think a couple of you tonight not looking as maybe as sharp as what you did back towards the end of Season 4, but that's only going to improve as the weeks go by. Again, the race Canada this time round as well, really, really excellent. I mean, they always are. Fair play to Michael, but we'll give you some more insight into that come the end of this one today. From what you've seen at 18 laps in, Sergio, do you have a favourite yet so far for this one tonight?
What favourite to win the race?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think favourite to win the race. I'm gonna go with, I think Bobby Leons is the standout answer for me, but I think close second it's gonna be Jamesy. I feel like Jamesy's not quite an outsider, but he's not one that spends a ton of time in P1 throughout an entire race. But today might be a day that he can, snatch and grab right at the end.
Fair enough. Well, listen, I would love to see Jamsey do well as well, because that's another guy that's had a lot of kind of trials and tribulations over the last couple of seasons. For now, Mr. Andrew, there's the link. I've just done the Discord command for you. So if you click that, mate, join that. You'll go into like a big 15,000 person Discord. So once you kind of in there, go to the channel called Tag Request, and you'll see a link to an F1 Discord. That is our F1 Discord. It's a little bit more calm, quiet, not for 15,000 people, and you can kind of sign up for everything there in terms of being a reserve driver or whatnot. Bit of a dangerous move there from Shadows Gunner, who tried to kind of overtake Hippo, but ultimately nothing there leads to any shenanigans, thankfully. Dom Parry just behind, chasing down Shadows Gunner and Dirty Hippo as well. I have to keep saying it, fair play tonight. This is the best start to a race I've seen the McLaren as a team have. Dirty Hippo and Michael in 1st and 7th place respectively. I did, to be fair, little cheeky insight. I do have Michael added as a friend, obviously. I saw him absolutely putting some effort, put some laps and times in for F1 in the past couple of days. So I think if there was one person on the grid tonight you could say won't be rusty, it would be got a lisp with the McLaren. Jamsey and Chizzy, of course, in 5th and 6th of the Red Bulls, as Dom Parry just about skirts on the gravel as well. Bobby Leons, though, back. Oh, my goodness me. Jesus Christ almighty. That was bad. I think that was very bad from Dom Parry. Yep, that was I watched that happen. You would need to clip that, Sergio, on my screen, because I think Dom Parry has just killed Bobby Leons there. That was the worst one I've seen in quite some time. Dear goodness me. I don't know if maybe Dom Parry's on Virgin and he was, I don't know, lagging as well. But yeah, that's karma to Bobby for the absolute disgraceful restart. Pretended to go 3 times while lagging everywhere. Well, again, we can't really blame too many people if they are lagging tonight, if they are on Virgin Media, what we've seen. But I mean, if anyone just, I thank God we got the VOD on. I think Michael is going to be looking back to that one, because it seemed like Dom Parry completely cut across Bobby Leons there and kind of sent him through through the wall. But, well, maybe one of those factors tonight, man. It's race rust, but it's also, if you're on Virgin Media, how difficult is it racing tonight? Because it looks like for some of you, maybe this is the excuse you need, Sergio. If I was having a bad race right now and I was fucking all over the road, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm on Virgin Media too. Secretly knowing I'm on BT, I just use it as a cop-out. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's happened before. You know, you can't write it off. I've seen people do that before, and get away with it. So yeah, that's definitely something you could use.
Well, Jacob there as well, getting a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Of course, give you the penalty updates. Only Jacob now with a 10-second penalty there. So, yeah, for now, 15 laps to go, and it's almost becoming, you know, quite, what's the word, like unbelievable, Sergio, that with the start that Chizzy had, not being here for the first 3 laps, 4 laps, and we think, oh, it's just a write-off already with the quality here tonight. He's right up there in 3rd place. And Dirty Hippo and Shadow's Gunner, again, respect to them, great drivers on the day, but they're not these mistake-free drivers, are they? They can make a mistake, they can make a bad turn, or a bad bit of handling goes their way, and then Chizzy will be right up there to secure the win today, won't he? So, I mean, for Hippo and Shadow's Gunner, it's about keeping their calm, especially with the fact that they know that they have 6 more laps on the wheels compared to Chizzy, as now a couple of them have already gone in as well, Jamsey and Dylan Evans there. But what is it going to take tonight to see a surprise winner? What is it going to take tonight in the next 14 laps for Dirty Hippo to get this over the line for you, Sergio?
I think some bold moves and maybe some tactical decisions as well. It is going to come down to the wire, I think, for a lot of races so far this season. Going into this season, I think there's quite a few that are going to be close and decided by small matters. So we're talking split-second decisions, even small things like having different tyres from pit stops and stuff. I think those small factors are going to be having some big changes and big differences in these outcomes. But I think for Chizzy and Shadows, I think if you want the win, you just got to be bold and go for some of those moves that don't feel fully on. You just got to, you know, stick your nose in places where you wouldn't normally. You've got to go for it.
There you go as well. Congratulations so far, Bailey. Again, 14 laps to go. It's not all done and dusted yet, but Bailey in 8th position, and that's a killer, isn't it, Sergio? Just as we're talking about how much of a great race Dirty Hippo's having, and he takes a 10-second speeding in the pit lane penalty. That has got to be feeling like a punch to the ribs. That has got to be feeling terrible for him after what he's done in the first 23 laps.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a punch in the gut. It's one of those things you just got to get on with, but it is going to hurt massively. And to be fair, I think any penalties that anyone picks up from now on in, you're going to be very upset and down in the dumps, no matter what position you are, because everyone's done a good job to get this far. So, yeah, be interesting to see what happens.
Well, for now, it's a familiar story that we've seen so often. Chizzy on top, and Shadow's going a little bit way behind. Let's have a look, though, further down the grid and see what's going on, especially in this battle for points. Ryan Parker currently there with Jacob. They've both got penalties, but Blazergun's also chasing them down. The Forza Motorsport icon looking to try and get some points logged on the board tonight. You go a bit further up, though. There is a bit of a train between 5th and around about 8th position. So we'll just hop on Dirty Hippo for now, who of course does have that penalty. But Bailey up into 7th. He must have the ultimate nosebleed. Dom Parry on 17-lap-old hards, though, pitting for what you'd expect is the final time this evening. Could you get away with 12 laps on the mediums, do you think, Sergio?
Sorry, were you asking could you get away with that?
Yeah, could you? Yeah. If you're Dom Parry, could you get away with that?
Yeah, I think you could. From what we've heard so far, you know, there's a lot of letting up because that helps the car sort of regain itself a little bit and charge up. So, yeah, I think it is doable. It's just you've got to manage closely and make sure you're staying on top of everything while obviously trying to put in quick lap after quick lap.
That's fair enough. And the last question for you in terms of maybe what you would do. I got 2 questions for you. Number 1, if you're Shadows Gunner and Michael, 12 laps to go, 16 lap old hards. When do you pit to go on to mediums? Because it's surely got to be the strategy. You got to try and get to mediums and take those hards as long as possible. But then more so as well for Pollen Breath, 11 lap old mediums. What would you be doing in his position as well?
If I'm on mediums at this point and they're getting a bit old, I'll be looking to do as much as I can in terms of taking them as far as possible until I see my times fall off by about half a second to 0.8 of a second. I've just seen, by the way, Blazer Guns go straight into the wall head first as well. So he just spun out on the exit of the corner there. But yeah, I think if I'm on older mediums at this point in the race, I'm just trying to push them as long as I can. The moment my times per lap start going down half a second to 0.8 of a second slower, at that point I'm then switching over to softs and seeing if I can just run those to the end in the last few laps.
That's that clip, by the way. I love the fact that you title the clips the way that you do. You're an artist, I must say. Fantastic. And this is the other question for you then. If you are maybe someone like a Shadows Gunner who has shown in the past the ability to kind of race at a high elite level, do you try and test the theory about these softs being improved? Do you take these hards to maybe 20 laps and then come out on softs for maybe the final kind of 5 or 6 laps, or do you just play it safe at the first race of the season? How would you look at that if you're one of the top drivers, maybe like I said, a Shadows Gunner or a Chizzy, looking to really get this over the line?
There's no such thing as a good time to test when you're in a race. A race is a race. You should only stick to what you know. But when we're looking at it in theory, in terms of where we are at the moment in this season, we're the very first round. This is the best time to test stuff like that. So this is the perfect race to do something along those lines. If you're going to lose points, it's okay. You've still got plenty of races coming up, and everyone at the minute is on level playing ground. Everyone's on 0 points.
Bang on.
Until the end of the race. So you're not going to be losing by much if you do lose everything.
Yeah, I think if I raced and I was, pretty confident and I was up there, I'd say let's just take a little bit of a gamble first race of the season. You have a gamble at the first race of the season or the last race of the season, not in the middle when you may be chasing a certain position. But for now, listen, 10 laps to go, and it is still a bit of a confusing one as to what's going to happen with the podium. I think you could look at Chizzy tonight and say, with the position that he's in, nothing but clean air behind him, just a Sunday drive at this point for him. He is going to be absolutely fine tonight to claim this first race. Shadow's Gunner has just pitted there with 9 laps to go and got onto those fresh mediums also. But dude, I'm really hopeful. That my favourite German, Marcel, in the McLaren tonight, Dirty Hippo, can bring this one home and can find a rare podium finish. I love seeing the underdog do well. But, I mean, listen, he's got some great talent in front of him and behind him. Jamsey, Dom Parry, Shadows Gunner, even Cons, in fairness. Yes, he's going to have to pit and change those tyres, Sergio, but a fantastic one from him tonight. 6th place with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, massively improved from when first started watching and commentating. The lad couldn't even do 1 lap without having contact with either a wall or another car. So there's massive improvements there from Cons, and ultimately a great race as well. There's been a lot of chaos and carnage. There's been a lot of accidents, and to not be caught up in that on such a small circuit as well, it's impressive. It's very impressive. So yeah, fantastic race there for Cons as well. Yes, okay, pit still looming, but that is not a problem. It's something you can go away proud of, and it's a foundation at the end of the day, and that's what you now build from.
Bang on, absolutely. Andrew as well saying, all signed up and in the Discord, can't wait. Andrew, you are going to love it. Maybe not if you're on the grid tonight with some of the lag issues we're having, but I imagine, listen, every Monday we're here, we're reliable. Yeah, Michael, no doubt, will kind of give you a warm welcome and introduce you to the other lads. And just keep your eyes peeled, man. There's always opportunities to hop in and race on the Monday if you're around. So, yeah. Glad to have you, man. Welcome aboard. Cons there is what we talked about, when you've got nothing to lose, should you take a risk in race week 1? Cons is doing that. He's gone onto the softs for the last 8 laps here, Sergio. So this will be interesting. Let's keep our eyes on him and see what he can do going into this kind of penultimate stretch where he is looking to maybe bank some points on the board. Didn't get many, if not any, last season, but he may well be on for some here tonight. For now, though, Dom Parry chasing down Dirty Hippo, who of course does have that penalty on him. So for now, Dom Parry will get the podium spot. But if it does end this way, if it does end Dirty Hippo in, for example, I don't know, 5th and Michael in 6th, that is such a good return for the McLaren here tonight, considering how lackluster, mediocre they were last season. For Tiller and Henry in the Ferrari as well, consistent 9th and 10th at this minute in time. But maybe Tiller will be ruining it a little bit, seeing Shadow's Gunner up there in the Mercedes in 5th position. Who caused that Mercedes, or that Ferrari breakup, should we say? Did Tiller walk away from the marriage, or did Henry walk, or did Shadow's going to walk away from the marriage? If it was Tiller, maybe he's made the wrong choice tonight. The Red Bull as well, as of now, 1st and 2nd. You want to talk about a dynamic duo. Chizzy and Jamsey going to be ones to watch this season for that Team Constructors. With, I think, more interest coming from lower down the grid as well. No offense to the guys at the top here. The race for points still underway. And look at this little battle we've got going on now, Sergio, from 11th upwards. 11th, 10th and 9th, all very much kind of within an earshot of each other. As Henry there just going for an overtake. He's grinding on Pollenbreath there. That was a little bit of a dirty one, I think, from Henry for me. He is getting really touch tight to Pollenbreath. But those two battling back and forth in the race to kind of finish as high as possible. For Henry as well, 12 lap old softs. At some point, he may have to kind of, you know, look at this and say, can my car finish this race on this current compound? But another penalty came in there just now for reverse 19. 10 seconds for him. So 10 seconds for Hippo, Jacob, Blazer Guns and reverse 19. Not ideal for reverse on the last 6 laps of this evening. Pollenbreath now pulling away from Henry, and it's going to be down to Bailey to try and kind of catch up to those agonizingly spent softs, and he has done that because Henry has chosen now to go in, and he's just taken a 10-second pit lane penalty as well for speeding. So not a great night for the new boy at Ferrari, Sergio. Definitely not.
No, I want to forget, but at the end of the day, again, this is the best race to have a night like that. It's a case of you need to get your head down after this race. This is just, in theory, a warm-up for these guys, just to see how they feel with the update and with the cars in general. It'll give them a good feel and sense of things. So,
is that how you would look at it tonight if you were on the grid as well, Sergio? Would you look at this almost like in football, like the Community Shield? This is a competitive friendly. Do you think of that? Do you think that's what a lot of these drivers will look at it tonight? Yeah,
that's normally how I would treat the first race of any sim racing season. You don't know what your opponents are like. You don't know what kind of experience everyone has, and you don't know what they've been doing in the off season. So the best thing to do is focus on your race and test stuff, and just make sure you're happy in general. Make sure you're confident at going around and pushing the car to its limits, because if you're not, you're going to need to know from the first round onwards, rather than finding out midway through the season that something's not been quite right for you and it doesn't work for you.
That's very fair. Well, for now, listen, 5 laps to go, and you'd think here for Bailey, in particular, who we're rooting for to go and get some points today, will he be able to kind of say that he is going to earn points tonight? He's going to need to be pretty, I would say, not consistent here, but pretty flawless. No mistakes, no silly penalties, no nothing, if you are Bailey X tonight looking to close on down. And for Cons as well, coming in on those softs for the last kind of 4 laps, he is zipping around. He's like an annoying little mosquito now in 10th position, closing down Pollenbreath. For Michael, we go back up to him. Nothing really in front of him or behind him. He's enjoying life there in 6th position. It's more about Shadow's Gunner and Dirty Hippo, but of course that 10-second penalty makes things a little bit less interesting. Hippo and Dom Parry trading paint there, but it does look like tonight, Sergio, that the top 3 is going to settle at what it is, a Chizzy, Jamsey, Parry podium. Do you feel that's fair? Do you feel like anyone's been hard done by, or no real complaints?
I wouldn't say any massive complaints. I think the top 5 have done very well, to be honest, to be where they are. It's been a tricky race. It's not been easy to grasp and get your hands on and really start sort of picking it apart. But Obviously, Chizzy's had a fantastic race since he came back. Jamsy's done phenomenally as well, and again, massive result for the Red Bull team. You know, P1 and P2 as it stands, and no doubt I'll probably finish that way as well. But yeah, fantastic job for those guys, and no, I don't think anyone's been hard done by, nor would I change anything really. I think they've all deserved where they are.
And who would you be? 3 laps to go, it could all change still unless something crazy happens. If it was you deciding the driver of the day, how would you view that one? You got a couple of candidates, man. Chizzy, of course, with that terrible start, not being here, then winning the race. You got Cons, who you've been high of praise for. Breath, who's looked decent on his return. Dirty Hippo, who's looked brilliant. Michael. I mean, there's so many candidates today, but who would you give it to?
I'd probably lean towards Tom Parry side of things.
Okay.
Purely because I'm looking at it now. Most overtakes tonight is Don Parry. Then after that, it's actually Jacob. But now, obviously being in the pits, he's going to lose those positions. But I think in terms of a debut race, I think Jacob's up there and Pollen Breath. But in terms of overall, for me, it's got to be Don Parry. Potentially coming away with a podium as well. Fantastic job.
Now, who says that the old goats can't compete with the new blood? It's certainly not the case. Don Parry, brilliant. And for Sergio, his driver of the day. Again, there's so many different ways you can look at it today. I think there's about a good 7 or 8 drivers here tonight that can be very happy with their week 1 performance. And again, it's only going to get tighter. It's only going to get better. You'd think when, you know, the Virgin Media issues next week subside. You got CB46 back to his very best. Bobby Leons, of course, was wiped out in a horrific murder. He'll be back next week looking to, you know, chase down some points. Vero Kieran, if he's back next week, I mean, we've got a real tasty, tantalising grid waiting for us for the rest of the season. And for some of these new boys, they're fitting in brilliantly. I hope that it's not just a one-off from Pollen Breath. A big fan of him, always was back, of course, in the winter as well. And interesting to see when this kind of Ferrari partnership clicks between Tiller and Henry, because 11th and 13th, we have to start asking those questions now at a point, don't we, Sergio? Maybe that one season that Ferrari did so well, I think 3 seasons ago now, maybe that, or 2 seasons ago, maybe that was the outlier. Maybe this kind of mid-table position that Ferrari finds himself in, maybe that's actually their true value. Maybe that's their actual true level. I guess only time will tell, though.
Yeah, only time will tell. And the one positive thing you can take away from this race in general is that pace-wise, Tiller and Henry have been on it. They've done very well, and it's very similar out there pace-wise. So that's going to give them strength going forward. Especially when it comes to team tactics as well. It's not going to be easy to knock off the Red Bulls, don't get me wrong, and same with the Audi team and the McLaren. However, it is going to be crucial for consistency. It's not always about short sprint pace, it's often about consistency, and that's what you need throughout the season. So I feel like those two should be able to deliver just that, to be honest. That's what Tiller and Gunnar did on their winning season, so they were just consistent throughout the entire season and smashed it all throughout the journey there. So as long as the Ferrari team now do the same thing and they focus more on the longevity rather than the short burst, then yeah, I think they'll do a solid job.
Well, we're going to just sit on Don Parry here going into this final kind of lap, because his podium is in a little bit of trouble here. Shadow's Gunner in the Mercedes right now is saying, I want it more than you, buddy, and he's going to look to try and joust the old veteran to 3rd position. A reminder again, we talk about that because Dirty Hippo currently is on a 10-second time penalty, as well as Henry, Jacob and Reverse. 3-second time penalties for Blazer Guns and Surtees. So as of right now, it would be a Chizzy, Jamsey and Shadow's Gunner top 3, with Don Parry just behind, and may well end up being a finish for Dirty Hippo and Michael that they will look back at and say we could have done better, but I don't think they're going to have too many complaints if for tonight they finish 5th and 6th as a team. That's definitely one of the McLaren's better nights. Blazer Guns there as well seemingly has retired or had some sort of incident. We'll see if we can find out if he crashed somewhere or not, but for now we're on Reverse and looking to see if we can spot the carcass of Blazer Guns anywhere. Not seeing any signs of wreckage or a fiery pile of smoke. But it was on that corner because he has just overtaken him. So maybe he did slam into the wall there. And that cost him his race tonight. For now, though, almost confirmation coming here that Dom Parry will get a podium. Chizzy has just crossed the finish line. Congratulations to him. 23 lap old hards in the end. He is one of the best, and he has proven it here again tonight. Wasn't even ready in the first 3 or 4 laps, but still brings it home. Jamsey as well. Hell of a teammate for Chizzy to pick up. Shadow's Gunner does indeed take 3rd position. Congratulations to him. Dom Parry in 4th. VRT Dylan Evans in 5th. And then Michael and Hippo in 6th and 7th. I mean, that's a great kind of, I think, ribbon cutter, though, for the team constructors, isn't it, Sergio? The Red Bull, the Audi, and the McLaren. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of consistencies, it's a very consistent looking grid in terms of teams. So I think the battle's definitely going to be on. It's going to be tight. But again, they may have just been outside the points. Can't knock Ferrari just yet. Obviously, we're only one round in, but
Absolutely.
Again, they were consistent, and as you can see from the other teams as well, they are next to each other. So if they can just work on that a bit further out the grid, they could be flying this season as well, and really in amongst the battles.
And a big congratulations to Bailey as well. He didn't really get any points. Maybe got 1 in the entire season last season. He's finished 10th tonight. Bailey in the points. Huge for him. And also to Cons, 8th position. Yeah, for me, I know you've gone Dom Parry. I'm going Cons 10 for my driver of the day today. Hell of a performance and a hell of a bit of driving from a guy that we usually see lower down at the end of the opposite end of the grid. But 8th position tonight, he will be buzzing with that one. But yeah, now listen, a race which, as we said, definitely showed signs of race rust, which definitely had the incidents with Virgin Media play a part, and you feel for guys like CB46, and you feel for guys like Bobby Leons, but obviously, you know, I think those little factors, even though you don't want them to happen, Sergio, they add to the story of the season, don't they? So if anything, it is actually a little bit intriguing as well. The one thing that I will pick your mind on, though, with what you've seen tonight, and obviously people will improve and everything will start to become even more tighter and more interesting. Next Monday, the 29th, we head to Monza. Based on what you've seen, is that, you know, a tantalizing prospect for you, or is that a bit more of a kind of, you know, a boring one for you, Monza next week?
No, I think that'll be a good one. Some decent straights there to get a lot of overtakes done, and as we've seen so far tonight, it does bring the racing a lot closer with this new update. So yeah, I think it'll be fantastic racing around there next week.
There you have it. Well, listen, we'll see the podium here. Everyone lifting their bottles of champagne and the trophy. But a top one. Some comments as well from the chat, certainly saying I got a point for using all tyres. I should get a point for using all tyres, IMO. Manor West Black says, Chizzy the tyre whisperer. There you go. Reverse saying, I've been fucked the entire race. I don't get a safety car notification. Neither does it show the warnings for track limits. That's not ideal. EA Sports, it's in the game, I suppose. Yeah, Dom Parry, driver of the day for punting Bobby into the Shadow Realm, says Manor West Black. Clearly not a Bobby Leons fan is Manor. But now, listen, brilliant race, a brilliant bit of history made. It's the biggest lobby we've ever had in a VFL F1 race, using that update to now get up to 21. So excited to see more and more of you next week. Hopefully the return of Kieran. Maybe we'll see Andrew, who followed today, get involved as well. Any final words from you then, Sergio, to round off today?
I just want to congratulate everyone that showed up for a history-breaking season opener. But yeah, fantastic job for everyone involved, and look forward to next week, and hopefully it's a cool one next week for the races as well.
I did praying it's not fucking 400 degrees in real life. And to be fair, like I said, for me today, it's not been too bad. If we raced on Tuesdays, it's supposed to hit 36 here tomorrow. I would be absolutely hating life, but there you go. Fellas, of course, don't forget, you can submit any stewardship clip claims into Michael's channel. It's open until 11 p.m. tomorrow, so any clips you want to report, yeah, whack them in there, and Michael will get back to you. For now, though, a big thank you to everyone, a big welcome back to everyone for Season 5, and I can't wait for Monza next week. It feels like my Mondays have meaning again, where we get to see you guys race to your absolute full purpose. We'll see you then. Take care, take it easy, and yeah, enjoy the World Cup tonight and tomorrow if you're watching it. Good night. We're out.